Good evening. My name is Keith Belsom. I know many of you, and most people just go ahead and call me Beau, but there's a lot of you that I don't know at all. So what I wanted to do is tell you about 4 things that I think are important for you to know about me. The first thing is I'm a Christian, and I believe I can find life's truths here in the inspired Word of God. The reason this is important to know is that it's the foundation of my worldview. It tells me I must be kind to my neighbor, to watch out for him, and to treat him with justice. The second thing that you should know is I'm an American. And I have my birth certificate to prove it. My ancestors have fought for this country, and I can tell you I will not push for anything that would be detrimental to the United States of America or detrimental to the Constitution upon which it is founded. The third thing for you to know about me is I'm a taxpayer. And I brought a copy of my tax forms to prove it. This is important because the people who pay the taxes are the people who fund this country. The country's government, our government, should be working for us. And I don't appreciate it when the government squanders my money. So let's be clear. The government does not make money. The government takes money. And finally, you should know that I'm a voter. I have my voter registration card, and I intend to keep using it. And I'm not shackled to any single party, but instead I'm going to vote for the candidate that does the best job at driving us to return to the principles that our nation was founded upon. Okay, fortunately I only have 1 point to make tonight. Now there's a few things that the government, that they're in charge of, that they do well. One thing is that we have the greatest armed forces in place for now. That this world has ever known. And my deepest gratitude goes out to the men and women of our military who fight so hard to keep our nation free. But there are numerous things that the government does not do well. In fact, our current president mentioned the U.S. Post Office as an example. The Post Office is contemplating cutting out one of its work days in order to save on costs. I hope the government never runs health care that way. I really don't like that way that the government operates. Our public library doesn't mind taking my money, but when the Lawrence County Tea Party tried to meet there, we were denied. I don't like that kind of government. Our South Carolina schools cost us more than $7,000 per year per student, and yet the graduates are not equipped to compete in the global workforce because of decisions and policies that flow down from Washington on down. You can send your children to Lawrence Academy for less than it costs us on average to be sending kids to public schools. And if you homeschool, well, you're even being more efficient. Wasting our money on the NEA agenda, well, that's the kind of government I don't like. Hey, it's a well-known fact that the government is the worst at effectively operating a social program. Here are some examples. The IRS estimates that between $8.5 billion and $10 billion of the federal earned income tax credit is wasted on overpayments. Poor management at the Department of Education helps explain why federal student loan programs cost so much money. At last count, we were over $20 billion worth of defaulted student loans and too many cases of fraud going undetected. In fact, buried in the Department of Treasury's 2003 Financial Report of the United States Government, contains a section titled Unreconciled Transactions Affecting the Change in Net Position. Well, that's just accounting speak for saying, I don't know where all the money went. And so for 2003, that totals $24.5 billion. Look, it's clear that a church-run food bank is a much more efficient way of feeding the needy than the government is. It's the church's responsibility. It's the church's responsibility, and the government is trying to rob us of that opportunity. So here's my point. No matter how good a program may sound, the citizens of this nation can provide those services at a more efficient cost than the government ever can. So when we're asked what we're protesting, let it be clear. We want smaller, more accountable government, not money-wasting socialism. Thank you.